authorized by the President who misrepresented him. I will name some of them. Undersecretary Adrian Bersamin. He name-dropped the President, making Zaldy Co believe na utos ng Pangulo na ipasok sa BICAM yung insertions na 100 billion.
Hindi ako sumama sa loob ng 3 taon dyan sa Malacanang. Dahil lantaran na doon ang inuman, ang paggamit nila ng cocaine at mga bawal na gamot.
Kitang-kita nyo na ang Pangulo ang gusto niya sirain, pero ang pinoproteksyonan niya ay yung may issue tungkol sa korupsyon na si Vice President.
Mounting issues continue to close in on President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. After being dragged into the massive flood control corruption scandal, he now faces an explosive new allegation, this time from his own sister, accusing him of using drugs. But the president pushes back. Just days after the accusation, he announced that an arrest warrant has been issued against his accuser, resigned Congressman Zaldy Co. How can the president recover from back-to-back accusations? Can he still convince the public that he and his family remain innocent as patience wears dangerously thin over the scale of the corruption scandal? I'm Stanley Palisada and this is the Weekend Wrap. Resigned lawmaker Zaldy Co's allegations continue to dominate headlines and the firestorm only grows. After claiming President Marcos ordered him to insert 100 billion pesos into the 2025 budget, Co now insists the president received a 25 billion peso kickback from that insertion. Co even displayed suitcases he claims carried the cash supposedly delivered to Malacanang and to former House Speaker Martin Romualdez's home, though he never showed actual money. He further alleges the former House Speaker threatened to have him killed if he exposed the scheme.
Pagkatapos niyang sabihin sa akin in a phone call na don't come home, we will take care of you, tumawag ulit si Speaker Martin at sinabihan niya ako na pag umuwi ako will be dangerous kasi they might hire someone to do a rub out on me or hire the police to kill me while in jail.
At the same time, Co insists he never benefited from the anomalous flood control deals, even as investigators pointed to him as a central figure in the scandal. Malacanang quickly hit back, questioning what they call glaring gaps in his testimony, while others challenged Co to fly home, take an oath, and prove his story.
These are very wild allegations. Obvious na ito isang gawain ng isang taong desperate, isang taong wala ng opsyon, at isang taong gagawin ng kahit ano, magsinungaling para lang makalusot sa hustisya.
Alam mo, minsan pagka naiipit sa patalim kumakapit, madaling magturo, madaling magbintang, pagkakaiba yung mga sinasabi ni Zaldy Co sa mga nakikita mo sa mga TikTok.
Alam naman natin under the rules of evidence that kailangan talaga mga sworn affidavits to, kailangan talaga verified. The videos come in alam niyo sa under the rules of evidence. Pagka video yan, kailangan dyan untampered.
Senators and majority lawmakers also believe the president may have merely been set up.
I think the part where they said the president asked for it is completely made up. Whether it was made up by the two people or by Zaldy Co, I cannot say. But to me, it is illogical, impossible, and ridiculous to think that the president would send emissaries to a committee member in Congress to plead for something. Congress is pretty united now in support of our president. Right now, I can tell you that there are really no voices here in Congress that speak out against President Marcos, and I think maybe 90%. If not higher, are really supporting the administration right now.
Ilan doon ang nabito ng Pangulo. So, nagtataka ako, sinasabi nag-insert siya, bakit niya naman i-veto rin yung in-insert niya?
One senator even presented supposed evidence clearing Marcos from the budget insertion, implicating several key cabinet officials instead. Senate President Pro Tempore Panfilo Lacson says former Public Works Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo told him certain officials also tagged by Co used the president's name to pressure Co into approving the insertion. Among those earlier implicated by Co, Budget Secretary Amina Pangandaman and Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin.
Napag-alaman ko from Undersecretary Bernardo na may mga tao sa Malacanang, not the President, not authorized by the President, who misrepresented him. I will name some of them. Undersecretary Adrian Bersamin. He name-dropped the President, making Zaldy Co believe na utos ng Pangulo na ipasok sa BICAM yung insertions na 100 billion. Now, Yusek Trigib Olaybar. Other personalities. Wala pong kinalaman ang Pangulo at wala siyang natanggap na 25 billion at wala ring delivery si Zaldy Co. Imposible, sabi nga ni Bernardo, imposible siya mag-deliver ng 25% kasi ako yung nag-handle, ako nag-deliver ng 8 billion. Saan kukuha ng 25 billion si Zaldy Co? Yun daw, ang nag-asikaso rin noon, si Trigib Olaybar, along with Secretary Bunuan and the others, rumekta na sa mga kontraktor, rumekta na sa mga RD, rumekta na sa mga DE. Hindi na niya napakailaman. Tapos, sinabihan siya ni Yusek Trigib Olaybar na si Secretary Bunuan asked Executive Secretary Bersamin several times, sino ba magpapacilitate itong 52 billion? Of course, isasama sa BICAM, paano ito re-release? Sino magpapacilitate? Ang sagot ni ES Bersamin sa kanya, we will take care of it. Sila na raw ang bahala kung paano ayusin yung 52 billion.
This controversy triggered another shakeup in the Marcos cabinet. The palace announced the resignations of ES Bersamin, Pangandaman, and Presidential Legislative Liaison Office Chief Adrian Bersamin. But it insists the president did not fire them.
Both officials respectfully offered and tendered their resignations out of delicadeza, after their departments were mentioned in allegations related to the flood control anomaly currently under investigation, and in recognition of the responsibility to allow the administration to address the matter appropriately.
But former ES Bersamin contradicts that version. He says a certain person called him on November 17, telling him his time was up and that the call did not come from Malacanang.
Hindi ako nag-resign. Pag sinabi mong nag-resign ka, parang may tinatakbuhan ka. Na magandang pakinggan yung for delicadeza, ang ganda. Pero hindi totoo yung nag-resign ako. You ask them kung bakit nila without consulting me. The messaging should be clear. You ask them if they had a letter. May disappointment, but hindi sama ng loob yun eh. Because, you do not expect na you can be out of the office so quickly. The exercise of the priority, but I am aware of the nature of serving at the pleasure of the President.
He also insists his office had nothing to do with budget insertions, denying being the mastermind of anything.
Kung meron bang mga tao na gusto akong i-implicate dyan, itigil nyo na yan, i-demanda nyo na lang ako para sagutin ko ng tama. Kasi right now, puro innuendo, puro mga pasaring. If ever they want to charge me as the mastermind, whatever case they want to file, they file it. Senator Lacson has the evidence. Well, we will respect his declaration there. Pero sa tingin ko lang, sa mga kwento ni Zaldy Co at saka ni Bernardo, hindi ko naman pwedeng sabihin na naniniwala ko agad. But as far as I know, Adrian and the others are not that into this na sila lang ang gumagawa. Huwag din nyo sabihin na ako ang mastermind.
Amid the back and forth, the palace insists the matter should be left alone, saying both Bersamin and Marcos have already spoken.
The palace acknowledges former Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin's clarification regarding the manner of his transition. As he himself stated in his interview, he submitted himself to the President's discretion and prerogative as part of the ongoing reorganization. The palace announcement was issued in line with this understanding and with due regard for stability and continuity in governance. At nagkausap naman po sila ng Pangulo face-to-face at let us just leave it at that.
Following the shuffle, Ralph Recto now becomes Executive Secretary, while Special Assistant to the President Frederick Go moves to the Department of Finance, and Budget Undersecretary Rolando Toledo takes over as DBM OIC. Meanwhile, critics find it questionable. Two palace officials are absorbing the fallout while the president's hands supposedly remain clean.
I pity Executive Secretary Bersamin and Secretary Amina because ang feeling ko, all this emanates from the President. So parang malabo sa akin yun na biglang itong dalawa yung tinuturo. No? And I would think, okay, sige, sinabi na. Yusek Bernardo said, ito yung ginawa nila based on the letter given to Senator Lacson. But I think it's time for them, Executive Secretary Bersamin at saka si Secretary Amina, na magsalita. Ano ba talaga yung nangyari? How did this happen? How can 100 billion, di na tayo nag-uusap ng million ngayon, escape the President? Yan ba'y inutos sa kanila as stated by Zaldy Co? O ito ba talaga ay ginawa lang nila as part of the scheme? Because you have to understand, in the end, they will be the fall guys. Nung una, ang fall guys is Zaldy Co. Eventually, Zaldy Co spoke out. Now, it looks like it will fall on the hands or the case will be, the masterminds now would seem to be Executive Secretary Bersamin and Secretary Amina Pakandaman. So tingin ko dapat silang magsalita and liwanagan ng itong issue to. It's a question not just of governance but their reputation.
Senator Lacson must think that the president is so incompetent and is so stupid. He does not, that his undersecretary ito, hindi man lang secretary, walang takot sa kanya. That's for the court of public opinion to decide. But Ping Lacson cannot tell me that these people, these underlings, operated without the knowledge of the president.
Fueling tensions further, the president's own sister enters the fray.
Magandang gabi po.
Senator Amy Marcos resurrects a years-old allegation accusing President Marcos of drug use. She also claims First Lady Liza Marcos and House Majority Leader Sandro Marcos are using drugs as well.
Bata pa lamang kami ni Bongbong. Alam na ng buong pamilya ang problema sa kanya. Sa totoo lang, mababasa naman ng lahat ang mga testimonya ng aking ama patungkol sa kanyang ugali at gawain. Noon, dahil may tatay pa kami, hindi ko pa siya responsibilidad. Noong tumatanda, ay mas naging nakakabahala. Batid ko na nagdadrag siya. Kinumbinsi ko pa si Bongbong, pakasalan mo na si Lisa. Naisip ko noon, kapag nag-asawa siya, malalagay na sa tahimik at magkakaroon ng direksyon. Ang laki ng pagkakamali ko. Mas lumala ang kanyang pagkalulong sa droga. Silang mag-asawa. Tama na, ading ko. Tapusin mo na ang paghihirap mo at ng bayan.
Malacanang fires back, calling her charges a desperate political stunt. Congressman Sandro Marcos, meanwhile, calls his aunt's statements a web of lies designed to destabilize the administration and boost her own political ambitions. And to escalate the already explosive rift, he emphasized this is not how a true sibling behaves. Senator Marcos responds by saying she's willing to undergo a DNA test if the president submits to a hair follicle drug test. But the palace insists there is no need for the president to entertain such demands.
It is very laughable. Nakakalungkot nga na nanggaling pa to sa sarili mong kapatid, no? Napakapambihira nito sa ating kultura. Kaya hindi na nga i-dignify ng Pangulo ito. Meron ng resulta, lumabas na to, lumang tugtugin na ito. Hindi papatulan ng Pangulo natin ito.
Kitang-kita nyo na ang Pangulo ang gusto niya sirain, pero ang pinoproteksyonan niya ay yung may issue tungkol sa korupsyon na si Vice Presidente.
As bombshell after bombshell erupts, various groups take to the streets calling for accountability. Over 500,000 people joined the two-day Iglesia ni Cristo rally at the Quirino Grandstand just days after Co implicated Marcos in the flood control scandal. The INC clarifies it supports accountability but not actions that violate the Constitution.
Gusto naming maging maliwanag sa lahat. Hindi natin hinahangad ang pagbagsak ng ating pamahalaan bilang institusyon. Sana maging maliwanag yan sa lahat. Ang nais natin ay ang pagbagsak ng katiwalian.
In Quezon City, both pro and anti-Marcos groups also staged rallies. Supporters reaffirmed their trust in the president's anti-corruption push, while critics, many of them from the Duterte camp, demand only one thing, that Marcos resigns.
May sarili kaming layunin, suportahan po ang Pangulo sa mga hakbangin na para din naman po ito sa kaunlaran ng bansang Pilipinas at ng mamamayan.
Para sa akin lang, Marcos resign. Nilaglag ka na ni Zaldy Co, kaya mag-bye-bye ka na bago pa lumala yung sitwasyon natin sa Pilipinas.
Vice President Sara Duterte joins the criticism. She says her former uni team partner now faces a profound crisis of confidence. She adds, the president's response to the multi-billion peso scandal lacks direction and resolve. Malacanang claps back, telling the vice president not to act as if she is clean or a hero.
The president now faces a profound crisis of confidence, especially in the way these corruption investigations are being handled, which appear to lack both direction and resolve. We also seek clear answers on how a budget that deprived Filipinos of billions and billions of pesos was approved under his watch. Kaisa ako ng milyong-milyong Pilipino na dismaya at nandidiri sa pamahalaang lulong sa insekuridad at walang kabusugang kasakiman.
Hindi po tayo naniniwala sa sinabi ng Vice Presidente. Ang Pangulo, uulit-ulitin natin na siya po ang nagpaumpisa ng pag-iimbestiga na ito. Noon pa po, ay marami ng anomalya. Since 2020, sinabi na po natin na marami na pong ghost projects pero wala pong ganitong klaseng pag-iimbestigang nangyari. Kung sino man yung nagsasabing walang trust and confidence, siguro siya po mismo ang maglahad kung mayroon siyang nakakaharap na anomalya patungkol sa mga korupsyon, sa ghost students, ghost food packs, na kinapalooban or kinasangkutan ng DBM, or rather DepEd, sa kanyang pamumuno. Huwag magmalinis ang hindi malinis at huwag magpakabayani ang hindi bayani.
Analysts warn the continuing infighting and the massive corruption scandal will drag down the ratings of both Marcos and VP Duterte unless allegations are squarely answered and genuine accountability is enforced.
My expectation is that it's going to be declining for both the president and the vice president, but the only difference is that Sara is coming off from a higher base, so then hindi pa din sila mag-aabot in the same situation. And I associate that, or I attribute that to the frustrations pa din of many of our kababayans that we haven't really seen any significant development on the making sure that those who are involved in the flood control mess are going to be made accountable. Infighting in the government is very unpopular for the public, no? So both the president's and Sara Duterte's numbers started declining. This was during the time that they started attacking each other. So and this trend continues, right? And now even harsher na yung kanilang mga criticisms against each other now, also with Senator Imy's revelation. So I suspect that this is not going to be taken positively by the public and both will suffer. I suspect as a political observer that this may really it will still be very hard for the president's popularity to recover, even if meron siyang gawin na something to this effect, right? Na talagang magpakita na sincere sa anti-corruption efforts. Because if you look at how the numbers are going,
hindi yan pwedeng ipagpag lang ng gobyerno na yan ay palang imagination ni Zaldy Co. Kailangan nila harapin to head-on. Ang problema niya ay marami sa kanyang kaalyado ay involved dito. Diba? Yun yung nahirapan. Ikalawa, hindi siya, dahil sa ating judicial system, medyo mabagal. Kaya kinakailangan nilang ipump prime ito para bumilis. Kaya yung statement ni Ombudsman Remulla na by December 15, kakasuhan itong mga senador na ito, itong mga kongresista na ito, itong mga contractor na ito, na malamang non-bailable cases. Kung yan ang isasampa sa December 15, meron tayong makikita before Christmas na makukulong ng mga powerful people, no? Na makakadagdag sa political capital ng presidente at gobyerno. Kung hindi niya gagawin yan, sasabog sa mukha niya itong kanyang anti-corruption campaign. Baka posibleng ma-impeach siya or magsampa ng kaso ng impeachment laban sa kanya, lalo na mababawasan yung kanyang suporta sa Kongreso.
And this week, the first concrete step. The Office of the Ombudsman files its initial batch of criminal cases before the Sandigan Bayan against Zaldy Co, his firm SunWest, and several DPWH Region 4B officials over an allegedly anomalous flood control project in Oriental Mindoro. The charges include graft and malversation, with prosecutors recommending no bail for the malversation case. They've also sought immediate issuance of arrest warrants. And just days after the case was filed, a warrant has been issued for the arrest of Zaldy Co along with 17 others from the DPWH and SunWest Construction.
Ang ombudsman formal nang naghain ng kaso laban kina Zaldy Co at iba pang 17 individual batay sa mga ebidensyang iniakyat ng ICI at saka ng DPWH. Hindi po ito haka-haka, hindi po ito kwento. Ito po ay tunay na ebidensya. At ang susunod na hakbang, ay wala nang paligoy-ligoy pa, ang ating mga otoridad ay siyempre papatupad na nila itong mga arrest warrant na ito. Aarestuhin na sila, ihaharap sa korte at pananagutin sa batas. Walang special na pagtrato, walang sinasanto. Ako ang nagsimula nitong lahat. Ako ang magtatapos. Kaya't asahan po ninyo na wala pong tigil itong aming ginagawa. At kahit na parang napakatagal ang dumaan na panahon, ako'y nagpapasalamat sa pasensya ng ating mga kababayan. Ngunit nagbunga na ng resulta ang mga pasensya ninyo.
This means Co is still abroad, now risks passport cancellation and a possible request for an Interpol red notice.
Labas po ng warrant of arrest dahil po non-bailable naman po ang final natin dahil malversation over 8.8 million, ma-aresto na kaagad po yung mga respondent dito sa kaso na ito. Marami po tayong remedies. Pwede po tayong humingi sa korte na i-cancela yung passport po ni Zaldy Co dahil nandito na po tayo sa part ng proseso na pwede na tayo humingi ng cancellation. Pag na-cancel na po yan, mas malimit na po ang kanyang galaw, hindi na po siya makakabiyahe. Pwede rin po tayong humingi ng Interpol red notice kung saan pwede nang actively hanapin si Ginoong Zaldy Co kung saan man siya. And yung obligasyon po ng isang bansa kung may Interpol red notice ay arestuhin ang isang tao at i-deport or i-extradite. So, yun po yung tinitigan ho natin. Nasa unang hakbang na po tayo, at least po nasa korte na ang kaso ni Ginoong Zaldy Co. At dito sa venue na ito, sa Sandigan Bayan po, pwede na natin hingin lahat ng sinasabi natin dati, yung pag-cancela ng passport at yung pag-apply ng Interpol red notice.
Meanwhile, Ombudsman Remulla promises Co of government protection so he can safely come home and back up his allegations.
I need witnesses alive. Kung meron siya ibang kinatatakutan, sabihin niya. Pero tutulungan namin siya. We do not want anybody to be gone. Siyempre sa amin, ibibintang niya kung may nangyari. We can make sure that arrangements are done properly. na hindi siya ma-expose sa peril.
The DPWH and the ICI have recommended charges against Romualdez and Co. over alleged budgetary anomalies during their time as House Speaker and Appropriations Committee Chairman.
Madaming kontrata po ito. No? And sinusumiti po natin ito sa Office of the Ombudsman para kanilang mas malalim na busisiin sa kanilang investigasyon. No? Ikalawa, sinama din po namin sa referral ang sworn testimonies ng sa Blue Ribbon hearing sa Senate related to both former Speaker Romualdez and former Congressman Zaldy Co, specifically the testimony of I'm not sure of the rank, but I think it's Sergeant Gutesa. Ang facts, simple lang. Speaker Martin Romualdez, siya ang naging speaker from 2022 to 2025. Si former Congressman Zaldy Co ang napili na Committee on Appropriations Chairman. At ang sinasabi nung referral na to ay dun sa relationship na yon, no, nangyari itong mga iba't ibang kontratang ito.
On another front, former Bamban Tarlac Mayor Alice Go, linked to the Pogo controversy, has been sentenced to life imprisonment after being found guilty of human trafficking. Her co-accused also received reclusion perpetua, with each ordered to pay a 2 million peso fine per case, in addition to reparations for the victims. The case stems from a June 2024 raid on a Philippine offshore gaming operator hub in Ghost Town, where over 800 Filipinos and foreigners were rescued. And in entertainment, Philippine bet Atisha Manalo finished as third runner-up in the 74th Miss Universe pageant.
Miss Universe is Mexico!
The crown went to Fatima Bosch of Mexico. Fatima's road to the Miss Universe crown wasn't without drama. Her journey hit a rough patch following a heated exchange with Miss Universe Thailand National Director Nawat